Imagine waking up tomorrow to find that our entire civilization had vanished overnight. Cities abandoned, technologies forgotten, and our greatest achievements erased from memory. It sounds like science fiction, but this scenario has played out dozens of times throughout human history. What forces could be so catastrophic as to wipe entire civilizations off the map? And more importantly, what can these lost cultures teach us about our own future? In this documentary, we'll explore these lost civilizations, examining their achievements, challenges, and the forces that led to their collapse. Prepare to uncover thousands of years of history that have been lost to time until now. Göbekli Tepe, humanity's first monument. Imagine a time when mammoths roamed the earth and humans were just beginning to form complex societies. In southeastern Turkey, a group of hunter-gatherers embarked on an ambitious project that would change our understanding of human history. They began to build Göbekli Tepe, a monumental structure that predates the pyramids of Egypt by thousands of years. Göbekli Tepe, which means Potbelly Hill in Turkish, is an archaeological site that has revolutionized our view of prehistoric human capabilities. The structure consists of massive stone pillars arranged in circular patterns, some weighing up to 20 tons. These T-shaped pillars, standing up to 20 feet tall, were intricately carved with images of animals and abstract symbols. The craftsmanship and artistry displayed in these carvings are far more advanced than what we previously thought possible for hunter-gatherer societies. The discovery of Göbekli Tepe in the 1990s sent shockwaves through the archaeological community. How could a group of people, who we assumed were simple hunter-gatherers, create such a complex and sophisticated structure? The site's age, confirmed through carbon dating to be over 11,000 years old, places it squarely in the pre-pottery Neolithic period. This means that Göbekli Tepe was built before the invention of pottery, metal tools, or even the wheel. One of the most intriguing aspects of Göbekli Tepe is its purpose. Unlike later monumental structures built by settled agricultural societies, Göbekli Tepe shows no evidence of permanent habitation. There are no houses, no hearths, and no signs of daily life. This has led researchers to believe that it was primarily a ceremonial or ritual site, possibly serving as a gathering place for different groups spread across a wide area. The construction of Göbekli Tepe required an enormous amount of labor and organization. Imagine the coordination needed to quarry, transport, and erect these massive stone pillars without the benefit of wheeled vehicles or domesticated animals. This level of societal complexity challenges our previous assumptions about the capabilities of hunter-gatherer societies. Göbekli Tepe's existence has forced archaeologists to reconsider the timeline of human development. Traditionally, it was thought that agriculture came first, allowing for the surplus food and free time needed to build monumental structures. But Göbekli Tepe suggests that complex social and religious structures may have preceded, and perhaps even driven, the development of agriculture. The site continues to yield new discoveries. As excavations progress, archaeologists are uncovering additional layers and structures. Each new find adds to our understanding of this enigmatic site and the people who built it. The carvings on the pillars, depicting a wide array of animals, including lions, bulls, boars, foxes, gazelles, and birds, provide a window into the symbolic world of our ancestors. Doggerland, Europe's sunken heartland. Imagine a vast plain stretching from Britain to Denmark, now lost beneath the North Sea. This is Doggerland, Europe's sunken heartland, a place where our ancestors once walked, hunted, and thrived. Around 18,000 years ago, as the last ice age began to wane, Doggerland emerged as a fertile paradise. The melting glaciers created a landscape of gently rolling hills, meandering rivers, and lush forests. It was a hunter-gatherer's dream, teeming with game and rich in resources. For thousands of years, Mesolithic communities called this land home, fishing in its abundant waters and following herds of animals across its expansive plains. But Doggerland's story is one of gradual change and eventual catastrophe. As global temperatures rose, so did sea levels. The land slowly shrank, transforming from a wide-open plain to a series of islands. Then, around 8,200 years ago, disaster struck. A massive underwater landslide off the coast of Norway, known as the Storegga Slide, triggered a devastating tsunami. This cataclysmic event, combined with the already rising seas, sealed Doggerland's fate. The remaining islands were swallowed up, and the North Sea claimed this once thriving landscape. For millennia, Doggerland lay forgotten, its existence known only to the fish that swam above it, and the sediment that settled on its submerged surface. But in recent years, this lost world has begun to reveal its secrets. Modern technology has allowed us to peer beneath the waves and reconstruct the geography and history of this sunken land. Marine surveys have mapped the contours of the ancient landscape, revealing the courses of long-lost rivers and the locations of hills and valleys. These underwater expeditions have uncovered a treasure trove of artifacts, each telling a part of Doggerland's story. Stone tools, worked bone, and even human remains have been dredged up from the seabed, providing tangible links to the people who once called this place home. One of the most remarkable finds came in 1931 when a trawler off the Dutch coast hauled up a beautifully carved antler artifact known as the Lehman and Ower Banks Point. This 13,500-year-old tool, possibly a harpoon or spear point, is a masterpiece of Mesolithic craftsmanship. It stands as a testament to the skill and artistry of Doggerland's inhabitants, challenging our perceptions of these ancient people. The study of Doggerland offers us more than just a glimpse into a lost world. It provides valuable insights into how our ancestors adapted to dramatic environmental changes. As the sea levels rose, the people of Doggerland would have faced increasingly challenging conditions. They may have built boats to navigate the growing waterways, developed new fishing techniques, or migrated to higher ground. Their story is a powerful reminder of human resilience in the face of climate change a lesson that resonates strongly in our modern world. Doggerland also forces us to reconsider our understanding of prehistoric migration patterns. For thousands of years, it served as a vital land bridge, allowing people, animals, and ideas to flow between what we now call Britain and continental Europe. The submergence of this land would have had profound effects on human movement and cultural exchange, potentially explaining some of the genetic and cultural similarities found across this region. The Liangzhu culture of China. Around 5,000 years ago, in the lush Yangtze River Delta, a remarkable society emerged that would shape the foundations of Chinese civilization as we know it today. The Liangzhu culture, flourishing between 3300 and 2300 BCE, was a sophisticated Neolithic civilization that left us with tantalizing clues about their advanced way of life. At the heart of their world stood the city of Liangzhu, a marvel of urban planning that would put many modern cities to shame. Imagine a sprawling metropolis crisscrossed by an intricate network of canals, dotted with reservoirs, and protected by massive levees. These weren't just simple ditches and mounds. We're talking about a complex hydraulic system that managed water for irrigation, flood control, and transportation. But the Liangzhu people weren't just masters of water. They were artists of the highest caliber, especially when it came to jade. Their craftsmen produced exquisite jade artifacts that have left archaeologists and art historians in awe. Among their most famous creations were the bead discs and Kong tubes. These weren't just pretty ornaments, they held deep spiritual and cosmological significance. The Bi, a flat disc with a hole in the center, is thought to have represented the heavens, with the Kong, a tube-like object with a circular inner section and square outer section, symbolize the earth. The Liangzhu society was far from egalitarian. Excavations of burial sites have revealed a clear social hierarchy. The elites were laid to rest in elaborate tombs, surrounded by precious jade objects, finely crafted pottery, and even sacrificial victims. These burials give us a glimpse into a complex society with well-defined social classes and intricate religious practices. At the foundation of this advanced culture was rice. The Liangzhu people were master rice farmers, and it was this staple crop that fueled their economy and supported their impressive urban centers. Their agricultural prowess allowed them to produce surpluses, which in turn enabled specialization of labor and the development of their remarkable jade industry. But, like many civilizations, the story of Liangzhu has a mysterious ending. Around 2300 BCE, this thriving society suddenly collapsed. The once bustling city was abandoned, its canals silted up, its buildings left to crumble. What could have caused such a dramatic downfall? Some researchers point to catastrophic flooding, possibly linked to climate change. It's a sobering reminder of how vulnerable even the most advanced societies can be to environmental shifts. Today, the remains of Liangzhu are recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to its significance in understanding the development of Chinese civilization. The site offers us a window into a crucial period of human history, bridging the gap between prehistory and the historical periods of China. Atlantis, Myth and Reality. From the depths of ancient Greek philosophy emerges a tale that has captivated imaginations for millennia. Atlantis, the legendary advanced civilization described by Plato, continues to intrigue and mystify us to this day. The story of this utopian society, said to have vanished beneath the waves, has inspired countless theories, expeditions, and debates. Plato first introduced the concept of Atlantis in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. He painted a picture of a highly advanced civilization that possessed immense wealth, technological prowess, and formidable military might. According to Plato's account, Atlantis was a maritime power that ruled over vast territories and enjoyed prosperity beyond measure. The city itself was described as a marvel of engineering, with concentric rings of land and water, grand palaces, and intricate canals. But what makes the tale of Atlantis so enduring? Perhaps it's the tantalizing possibility that such an advanced society could have existed in our ancient past, only to disappear without a trace. Or maybe it's the cautionary element of the story, as Plato describes how the Atlanteans' hubris and moral decay ultimately led to their downfall. The idea that a great civilization could rise to incredible heights and then vanish serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of human achievements. Over the centuries, the search for Atlantis has led explorers and researchers to various corners of the globe. Some have proposed locations in the Mediterranean, while others have looked to the Caribbean or even Antarctica. These theories often draw on geographical features or archaeological findings that seem to align with the elements in Plato's description. One of the most intriguing real-world connections to the Atlantis myth involves the ancient Minoan civilization of Crete. Around 1600 BCE, a massive volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, modern-day Santorini, devastated the region. Some researchers suggest that this catastrophic event could have inspired the story of Atlantis' destruction. The Minoan civilization, known for its advanced culture and maritime prowess, suffered a significant decline following the eruption, potentially providing a historical basis for the legend. However, it's important to note that many historians and archaeologists view Atlantis as purely mythical. They argue that Plato likely used the story as a philosophical device to illustrate his ideas about the ideal society and the consequences of moral decay. In this interpretation, Atlantis serves as an allegory rather than a historical account. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the search for Atlantis continues to fuel archaeological expeditions and scholarly debates. This ongoing fascination highlights our enduring interest in lost civilizations and the blurred lines between myth and history. The Atlantis legend taps into our collective imagination, prompting us to question what other advanced societies might have existed in our distant past, only to be lost to time. Mohenjo-Daro and the Indus Valley Civilization. Imagine a city with advanced urban planning, sophisticated plumbing, and mysterious cultural practices, all dating back to 2500 BCE. Welcome to Mohenjo-Daro, a real-life wonder that rivals the mythical Atlantis in its technological prowess. Mohenjo-Daro, located in present-day Pakistan, was one of the largest and most well-preserved urban centers of the Indus Valley civilization. This ancient metropolis sprawled across 250 acres and housed an estimated population of 40,000 people. What sets Mohenjo-Daro apart from other ancient cities is its remarkably advanced and organized layout. The city was built on a grid system, with wide, straight streets intersecting at right angles. This level of urban planning was unprecedented for its time and showcased the sophisticated engineering skills of its inhabitants. The streets were lined with two-story buildings, constructed from standardized sun-dried and kiln-fired bricks, creating a uniform and orderly appearance throughout the city. One of the most impressive features of Mohenjo-Daro was its elaborate drainage and sewage system. The city boasted covered drains running alongside the streets, connected to individual houses. This advanced sanitation system was far ahead of its time and even surpassed those of many later civilizations. It's mind-boggling to think that this ancient city had better drainage than some parts of the modern world. At the heart of Mohenjo-Daro lies the Great Bath, a large public water tank measuring approximately 39 feet long, 23 feet wide, and 8 feet deep. This structure, believed to have held great ceremonial or religious significance, was watertight thanks to finely fitted bricks and a layer of natural tar. The presence of such a monumental structure suggests a complex social and religious life in the city. The material culture of Mohenjo-Daro provides tantalizing glimpses into the lives of its inhabitants. Excavations have unearthed a wealth of artifacts, including intricately carved seals, delicate figurines, and finely crafted pottery. These objects not only showcase the artistic skills of the Indus Valley people, but also hint at a thriving trade network. Seals and pottery similar to those found in Mohenjo-Daro have been discovered in Mesopotamia, indicating extensive commercial connections between these ancient civilizations. Despite the abundance of artifacts, one crucial aspect of Mohenjo-Daro remains shrouded in mystery: its writing system. The Indus script found on seals and pottery has yet to be deciphered. This linguistic puzzle has left many aspects of the city's society, governance, and beliefs open to speculation. Without written reports, archaeologists and historians must rely on physical evidence to piece together the story of this enigmatic civilization. The decline of Mohenjo-Daro, along with the broader Indus Valley civilization, remains a subject of debate among scholars. Theories range from climate change and shifting river courses to invasions and socio-political upheaval. Whatever the cause, by 1900 BCE, this once thriving metropolis had been abandoned, its streets silent, and its buildings slowly reclaimed by the earth. Dwarka, India's mythical submerged city. Off the coast of Gujarat in India, a submerged wonder challenges our understanding of myth and history. Welcome to Dwarka, a place where legendary tales of golden palaces and bustling ports might have real-world counterparts hidden in the depths. Dwarka holds a special place in Indian mythology, mentioned in epic literature like the Mahabharata as a grand city founded by Lord Krishna himself. For centuries, it existed only in stories passed down through generations. But in recent times, archaeological explorations have brought a new dimension to this ancient tale. Underwater investigations off the coast of Gujarat have revealed tantalizing evidence of a thriving port city that once stood where now only waves roll. Divers and archaeologists have uncovered structures and artifacts that paint a picture of a bustling maritime hub. Stone anchors, remnants of walls, and pieces of pottery have been found scattered across the seabed, whispering secrets of a civilization that flourished around 1500 BCE, or perhaps even earlier. These discoveries have sent shockwaves through the archaeological community. The findings suggest that the ancient Indians were far more advanced in urban planning and maritime trade than previously thought. The stone anchors, in particular, provide strong evidence of a well-developed port that likely saw ships from distant lands bringing exotic goods and new ideas. But what happened to this thriving city? The submergence of Dwarka resonates eerily with the mythological accounts of its destruction. While legends speak of divine intervention, scientists point to more earthly causes. Rising sea levels, tectonic activity, or natural disasters could have played a role in the city's watery fate. It's a reminder of the constant dance between human civilization and the forces of nature, a theme that echoes throughout our exploration of lost cities. The discovery of underwater Dwarka blurs the lines between mythology and history in fascinating ways. It raises intriguing questions about the historical basis of ancient Indian texts. How much of what we consider myth might be rooted in actual events? The existence of a real Dwarka doesn't prove every detail of the epic tales, but it does suggest that these stories might contain kernels of historical truth, wrapped in layers of cultural and religious significance. Studying Dwarka offers rare insights into ancient Indian civilization and its interactions with the environment. The underwater site is like a time capsule, preserving aspects of daily life, trade, and architecture that might have been lost if the city had remained above ground. It's a unique window into India's maritime history, shedding light on trade networks that might have stretched across the ancient world. The Nok, West Africa's hidden legacy. From the savannas of West Africa emerges a civilization that left behind a legacy of art and innovation. Picture intricate terracotta heads with elaborate hairstyles, staring out from the soil after 2,000 years. These aren't just works of art, they're windows into a forgotten world of creativity and technological advancement. The Nok culture, flourishing in what is now Nigeria from around 1500 BCE to 500 CE, stands as one of West Africa's earliest known civilizations. The Nok people were masters of terracotta sculpture, creating figures that captured the essence of humans and animals with remarkable detail. These sculptures, often featuring expressive faces and intricate hairstyles, likely held deep religious, ceremonial, or symbolic meaning for the Nok people. The level of artistry displayed in these works places the Nok culture at the forefront of sub-Saharan African art, influencing countless generations that followed. But the Nok weren't just artists. They were also pioneers of metallurgy. They were among the first people in West Africa to master the art of iron smelting, developing advanced techniques for creating tools and weapons. This technological leap forward had far-reaching consequences, likely influencing surrounding cultures and shaping the trajectory of West African civilization for centuries to come. The society that produced these artistic and technological marvels was based on a foundation of farming, hunting, and ironworking. Archaeological evidence points to organized settlements scattered across the Nigerian savanna. These communities worked together to cultivate crops, hunt game, and extract the raw materials needed for their iron industry. Despite their apparent success and influence, the Nok culture seems to have vanished rather abruptly around 500 CE. The reasons for this sudden decline remain shrouded in mystery. Some theories suggest that climate change may have played a role, perhaps altering the delicate balance of resources that sustain the Nok way of life. Others propose that the Nok might have fallen victim to their own success, overexploiting their environment until it could no longer support their population. Still others wonder if outside invasions might have brought about the end of this remarkable civilization. The legacy of the Nok culture extends far beyond their time, influencing the development of later West African civilizations. Their artistic traditions can be seen echoing through the centuries in the bronze sculptures of Ife and Benin. The ironworking techniques they pioneered spread across the region, fueling technological advancement and economic growth. Tragically, much of what we might have learned about the Nok has been lost to time and human greed. Nok artifacts have been widely looted over the years, torn from their archaeological context and sold on the international art market. This pillaging of cultural heritage not only robs us of valuable historical information, but also deprives the descendants of the Nok people of their rightful cultural inheritance. The story of the Nok culture serves as a powerful reminder of Africa's rich and complex history. It challenges outdated notions that technological innovation and artistic expression in sub-Saharan Africa were solely the result of outside influences. Instead, we see a civilization that developed sophisticated art forms and mastered complex metallurgical processes independently, laying the groundwork for centuries of cultural and technological development in West Africa. The Hittites, masters of the Bronze Age. While the Nok culture was thriving in West Africa, another powerful civilization was rising in Anatolia. The Hittites emerged as a dominant force in the Bronze Age Near East, creating an empire that rivaled the likes of Egypt and Mesopotamia. Their story begins around 1600 BCE, in the heart of what is now modern-day Turkey. The Hittites were innovators in warfare and technology. They mastered the art of chariot warfare, using lightweight, two-wheeled chariots pulled by horses to dominate the battlefield. This military prowess allowed them to expand their territory rapidly, conquering vast swaths of land across Anatolia and parts of the Levant. But the Hittites weren't just skilled warriors. They were also pioneers in metalworking. As the Bronze Age was drawing to a close, the Hittites were among the first to discover and utilize iron on a large scale. This technological advantage gave them a significant edge over their rivals and helped usher in the Iron Age. The capital city of the Hittite Empire, Hattusa, was a marvel of ancient urban planning. Located in central Anatolia, the city boasted massive stone fortifications that stretched for miles. These walls, some reaching up to 26 feet thick, protected a complex network of temples, palaces, and administrative buildings. The Hittites also constructed an advanced water management system, including dams and reservoirs, to ensure a stable water supply for their growing population. One of the most remarkable aspects of Hittite civilization was their diplomatic prowess. In 1259 BCE, following years of conflict with Egypt, the Hittite king Hattusili III and Pharaoh Ramses II signed the Treaty of Kadesh. This document, inscribed on a silver tablet, is considered the world's first recorded peace treaty. It not only ended hostilities between the two great powers, but also established a mutual defense pact and extradition agreements. The Hittites developed a sophisticated legal system that was remarkably progressive for its time. Their laws, preserved on clay tablets, show a nuanced approach to justice. For example, they had provisions for compensating victims of crime and allowed for the rehabilitation of criminals through community service. The Hittite Empire was also known for its religious tolerance and cultural adaptability. As they expanded their territory, they incorporated the gods and customs of conquered peoples into their own pantheon. This practice of religious syncretism helped maintain stability across their diverse empire and showcase their diplomatic acumen. Despite their power and sophistication, the Hittite Empire faced a sudden and mysterious decline around 1180 BCE. This collapse coincided with a period of widespread upheaval in the Mediterranean and Near East known as the Late Bronze Age collapse. Theories about the cause of their downfall range from invasions by the enigmatic Sea Peoples to internal strife and environmental changes. Whatever the reason, the fall of the Hittites marked the end of an era in ancient history. For centuries, the Hittites were lost to history, their existence known only through brief mentions in the Bible and Egyptian texts. It wasn't until the late 19th century that archaeologists began to uncover the true extent of Hittite civilization. The rediscovery of Hattusa and the decipherment of Hittite cuneiform writing revealed a complex and influential empire that had been hidden for millennia. The Elamites of ancient Iran. The Elamites of Iran were a powerful empire that rivaled Mesopotamia, yet most people have never heard their name. Their story challenges what we thought we knew about the cradle of civilization and fills a significant gap in our understanding of ancient history. The Elamites established themselves in southwestern Iran around 2700 BCE, making them one of the oldest known civilizations in the Near East. They built influential cities like Susa, which became a cultural and political powerhouse that lasted for thousands of years. Imagine a city older than ancient Egypt, with bustling markets, grand temples, and palaces that stood the test of time. These ancient Iranians developed a unique culture that blended their own traditions with influences from nearby Mesopotamia. We see this mix in their art, where local styles combined with motifs from their neighbors. Their architecture, too, showed this fusion, with buildings that incorporated elements from both cultures. But perhaps most interesting was their approach to writing. The Elamites were early adopters of cuneiform, the wedge-shaped writing system invented by the Sumerians. But they didn't stop there. They took this idea and ran with it, creating their own script to record everything from legal documents to religious texts. This early development in writing helped them build a complex society with a sophisticated administrative structure. Their cities were hubs of innovation and progress. The Elamites made significant advancements in agriculture, figuring out ways to farm in a challenging environment. They also established extensive trade networks, exchanging goods and ideas with distant lands. This economic prosperity allowed them to build a highly organized society with different social classes and specialized roles. But the Elamites weren't just focused on internal affairs. They were major players in regional politics, often getting involved in the power struggles of their neighbors. They formed alliances and engaged in conflicts with other great civilizations of their time, including the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. Sometimes they were the conquerors, other times the conquered. But they always managed to bounce back and reassert their influence. For over 2,000 years, the Elamites held their ground as a formidable power in the ancient Near East. But like all great empires, their time eventually came to an end. In 539 BCE, the Persian king Cyrus the Great conquered Elam, bringing it under the rule of the Achaemenid Empire. This marked the end of Elam as an independent state, but not the end of its cultural influence. Many aspects of Elamite culture were absorbed into the Persian Empire, continuing to shape the region for centuries to come. Despite their long history and significant contributions, much of what we know about the Elamites remains a mystery. Their civilization offers a unique window into the complex web of interactions that shaped the ancient world. As archaeologists continue to uncover more about this lost empire, we are gaining new insights into the origins of civilization itself. The Kingdom of Tartessos, Spain's legendary civilization. Imagine a kingdom so rich in precious metals that its wealth became the stuff of myth. Welcome to Tartessos, the forgotten El Dorado of the ancient world. Nestled in the sun-baked hills of southern Spain, this advanced civilization once rivaled the greatest powers of the Mediterranean. But why did it vanish without a trace? The story of Tartessos begins around 1200 BCE in the southwestern corner of the Iberian Peninsula. This region, now part of modern-day Andalusia, was blessed with abundant deposits of gold, silver, and copper. The Tartessians weren't just lucky to live on this mineral-rich land. They were masters at extracting and working these precious resources. Their metallurgical skills were so advanced that they could produce intricate jewelry and elaborate bronze figurines that would make even the most skilled artisans of Greece and Egypt green with envy. But Tartessos wasn't just a one-trick pony. Its strategic location at the mouth of the Guadalquivir River made it a natural hub for maritime trade. Ships from all corners of the Mediterranean world, Phoenicians, Greeks, and others, would sail to Tartessos, eager to exchange their goods for the kingdom's coveted metals. This bustling trade brought more than just material wealth. It exposed the Tartessians to a melting pot of ideas, technologies, and cultural influences that helped shape their unique identity. One of the most intriguing aspects of Tartessian culture was their writing system. The Tartessian script is considered one of the oldest writing systems in Western Europe. It's a fascinating blend of local innovation and borrowed elements, likely influenced by the Phoenician alphabet. Archaeologists have uncovered stone slabs and other artifacts covered in these mysterious symbols, offering tantalizing glimpses into the thoughts and beliefs of this long-lost civilization. The Greeks were particularly fascinated by Tartessos. In their writings, they described it as a land of unimaginable wealth and longevity. They told tales of King Arganthonios, whose name literally means the man of silver. According to legend, this king ruled for an astonishing 80 years and lived to be the ripe old age of 120. While we should take these stories with a grain of salt, they do reflect the awe and wonder that Tartessos inspired in its contemporaries. Archaeological evidence paints a picture of a sophisticated urban society. The Tartessians built well-planned cities with advanced sanitation systems, large public buildings, and impressive fortifications. They were skilled farmers, harnessing the fertile land around the Guadalquivir to grow crops and raise livestock. But perhaps most impressive was their ability to manage and manipulate water resources. They constructed complex irrigation systems and artificial lakes, transforming the sometimes harsh landscape into a productive agricultural paradise. Despite their apparent successes, the kingdom of Tartessos began to decline around 500 BCE. The reasons for its downfall remain a subject of debate among historians and archaeologists. Some theorize that environmental changes, possibly linked to overexploitation of resources, played a role. Others point to shifting power dynamics in the Mediterranean, with the rise of Carthage potentially disrupting Tartessos' trade networks and political influence. The Lycians, the forgotten democracy of Anatolia. Located in the southwestern corner of Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, the Lycians emerged as a unique and influential people. Their story began in the Late Bronze Age and continued well into the Roman era, leaving behind a legacy that still captivates historians and archaeologists today. The Lycians were more than just another ancient civilization. They were innovators in politics and governance, establishing one of the earliest known forms of democracy. Long before Athens became synonymous with democratic ideals, the Lycians had already created a confederation of city-states governed by a federal assembly. This system allowed for representation and collective decision-making, setting them apart from many of their contemporaries, who were ruled by monarchs or oligarchies. But the Lycians weren't just political trailblazers. They were also masters of art and architecture, particularly when it came to honoring their dead. The Lycian tombs, carved into cliffs or built as monumental sarcophagi, stand as a testament to their artistic ingenuity and reverence for the afterlife. These elaborate structures, often resembling miniature temples or houses, were designed to preserve the memory of the deceased for eternity. Today, these tombs are among the most iconic symbols of Lycian culture, drawing visitors from around the world to marvel at their intricate designs and stunning locations. The Lycian language, an Indo-European tongue, provides another window into their unique culture. They developed their own script, influenced by the Greek alphabet, which has helped scholars piece together aspects of their society and traditions. Inscriptions found on tombs, coins, and other artifacts have revealed details about Lycian names, family structures, and religious beliefs. Situated along major trade routes, the Lycians were no strangers to foreign influence. Their strategic location facilitated interactions with Greeks, Persians, and, later, Romans. This exposure to different cultures enriched Lycian society, leading to a blend of local traditions and imported ideas. Despite these influences, the Lycians managed to maintain a distinct identity throughout much of their history. The Lycians weren't just passive recipients of foreign culture, though. They were also fierce defenders of their independence. During the Persian Wars, they famously joined forces with the Greeks, contributing their naval expertise to the resistance against the Persian Empire. This alliance showcased not only their military prowess, but also their determination to preserve their way of life in the face of powerful adversaries. However, like many ancient civilizations, the Lycians eventually succumbed to the expansionist ambitions of a greater power. The Roman Empire, in its relentless march across the Mediterranean, absorbed Lycia into its vast territories. This marked the end of Lycian independence, but not the end of their cultural influence. Many aspects of Lycian art, architecture, and even some political structures were adapted and preserved under Roman rule. If you enjoyed this exploration so far, subscribe for more documentaries that dive into history's most extraordinary stories. The Nabateans beyond Petra, a desert empire. The Nabateans, an Arab people, built an empire that stretched far beyond their famous capital of Petra. Their story began around the 4th century BCE in the arid landscapes of the ancient Near East. The Nabateans weren't just skilled builders, they were master traders. They controlled vital trade routes that connected the Arabian Peninsula with the Mediterranean world. These desert highways became the lifelines of their empire, allowing them to facilitate the exchange of precious commodities like spices, incense, and luxury goods. The Nabateans' strategic position and trading prowess made them incredibly wealthy and influential in the ancient world. But how did they manage to build such a powerful civilization in one of the world's most unforgiving environments? The answer lies in their incredible ingenuity and adaptability. The Nabateans developed sophisticated water management systems that allowed them to not just survive, but thrive in the desert. They constructed an intricate network of dams, cisterns, and aqueducts that captured and stored precious rainwater. These systems also helped them transport water over long distances, enabling agriculture and supporting their growing population. Their capital city, Petra, is a testament to their archaeological and engineering skills. Carved into the red sandstone cliffs, Petra features stunning structures like the treasury, Al-Kazne, and the monastery, Ad-Dair. These monuments blend Hellenistic styles with their own indigenous designs, creating a unique architectural legacy that continues to captivate visitors today. But Petra was more than just a showcase of Nabatean craftsmanship. It was a bustling metropolis and a key hub in their vast trading network. The Nabateans' success wasn't limited to trade and engineering. They also developed a rich cultural and religious life. Their polytheistic religion featured deities like Dushara, the god of mountains, and Al-Uzza, a goddess associated with Venus. They built elaborate temples and conducted complex rituals that reflected their spiritual beliefs. These practices were not isolated, but evolved through contact with other cultures, demonstrating the Nabateans' remarkable ability to adapt and incorporate external influences. This adaptability extended to other aspects of their civilization as well. As they came into contact with Hellenistic and later Roman culture, the Nabateans skillfully adopted and adapted elements that suited their needs. They incorporated Greek and Roman architectural styles, adopted aspects of their legal systems, and even began minting their own coins. Yet throughout this process, they managed to maintain their distinct identity and cultural practices. The Nabatean civilization reached its peak around the 1st century CE. However, their independence came to an end in 106 CE, when the Roman Emperor Trajan annexed their kingdom. This marked the end of Nabatean political autonomy, but it didn't erase their cultural impact. Many aspects of Nabatean culture and innovations were preserved and even spread further under Roman rule. The Garamantes of the Sahara, pioneers of the desert. Picture a busy city with stone buildings, advanced agriculture, and complex trade networks. Now imagine it in the middle of the Sahara Desert 3,000 years ago. The Garamantes achieved what many thought impossible, turning the unforgiving Sahara into a thriving oasis of culture and innovation. The story of the Garamantes begins around 1000 BCE in what is now modern-day Libya. These pioneers of the desert managed to create a sophisticated society that lasted for nearly 2 millennia, adapting to one of the world's harshest environments. But how did they do it? The secret to their success lay beneath the scorching sands. The Garamantes developed an ingenious underground irrigation system known as fogaras. These complex networks of tunnels and shafts tapped into underground water sources, bringing life-giving moisture to the surface. This allowed them to cultivate crops like wheat, barley, and dates in an environment where most plants would wither and die. The fogaras were a testament to the Garamantes' engineering prowess and their determination to thrive in a seemingly inhospitable land. With a stable food supply, the Garamantes were able to establish permanent settlements. Their capital, Garama, now known as Gurma, was a far cry from the nomadic camps often associated with desert dwellers. Instead, it boasted stone buildings and organized streets, rivaling the urban centers of more temperate regions. Archaeological evidence has revealed a highly organized society with advanced cultural practices, challenging early perceptions of the Garamantes as simple nomads. But the Garamantes weren't content to simply survive in their desert home. They became renowned traders, acting as intermediaries between sub-Saharan Africa and Mediterranean civilizations. Their caravans crossed vast stretches of desert, carrying gold, salt, slaves, and exotic goods. This trade network not only brought wealth to the Garamantes, but also facilitated cultural exchange across a wide swath of the ancient world. The Garamantes maintained a distinct cultural identity throughout their long history. They developed their own language and script, though much of it remains undeciphered to this day. This unique writing system offers tantalizing glimpses into a civilization that still holds many mysteries for modern archaeologists and historians. However, the very adaptations that allowed the Garamantes to thrive in the desert eventually contributed to their downfall. The intensive use of water resources through the fogara system gradually depleted the underground aquifers. As their water sources began to dry up, the Garamantes faced increasing environmental pressures. This internal crisis was compounded by external threats from expanding empires, leading to the civilization's decline around 700 CE. The Etruscans, Rome's cultural ancestors. The story of the Etruscans challenges everything we thought we knew about the foundations of Roman civilization. These mysterious people, who flourished in central Italy between 900 BCE and 100 BCE, were more than just neighbors to the Romans. They were the unseen hand guiding the birth of an empire. The Etruscans built advanced city-states like Tarquinia, Veii, and Cerveteri. These weren't just simple settlements, but well-planned urban centers with fortified walls and impressive architecture. Imagine walking through the streets of an Etruscan city, surrounded by stone buildings and intricate drainage systems. These engineering marvels would later inspire Roman architects and city planners. One of the most fascinating aspects of Etruscan culture was their art. They created intricate pottery, lifelike bronze sculptures, and vibrant frescoes that celebrated life, religion, and the afterlife. Etruscan artists weren't afraid to depict scenes of joy and revelry, a stark contrast to the more austere art of other ancient cultures. Their bronze mirrors, adorned with mythological scenes, provide a glimpse into their daily lives and beliefs. The Etruscans were also skilled engineers, credited with innovations that would shape the future of architecture. They mastered the use of the arch, a structural element that would become a hallmark of Roman engineering. The next time you see a Roman aqueduct or the Colosseum, remember that the Etruscans paved the way for these architectural wonders. Religion played a central role in Etruscan society. Their practices, including divination and elaborate rituals, were deeply integrated into daily life. Etruscan priests were experts in interpreting signs from the gods, a practice that would greatly influence Roman religious traditions. The Romans adopted many Etruscan deities and religious customs, shaping the spiritual landscape of the empire. One of the most intriguing aspects of Etruscan civilization is their language. Although partially deciphered, it remains largely enigmatic. The Etruscan alphabet, derived from Greek letters, has been found on numerous artifacts and tomb inscriptions. While we can read the words, understanding their full meaning often eludes us. This linguistic mystery adds an air of allure to Etruscan culture and continues to fascinate scholars today. As the Roman Republic expanded, it gradually absorbed Etruscan city-states. The political independence of the Etruscans came to an end, but their cultural influence persisted. Many aspects of Roman life, from art and architecture to religious practices and governance, bore the unmistakable mark of Etruscan influence. The legacy of the Etruscans as Rome's cultural ancestors is profound. They provided the Romans with a sophisticated model of urban living, advanced engineering techniques, and a rich artistic tradition. The Etruscan influence on Roman culture was so deep that even as their own civilization faded, their ideas and innovations lived on through the expanding Roman Empire. The Lost City of Ubar, Arabia's Atlantis. From the sands of time emerges a tale that blurs the line between myth and reality. Imagine a city so wealthy it was said to be built on foundations of gold, yet so completely lost that for centuries it was thought to be purely mythical. This is the story of Ubar, the Atlantis of the Sands, a legendary ancient city that once thrived in the heart of the Arabian desert. Ubar's origins are shrouded in mystery, but its importance in the ancient world is undeniable. This lost city was a vital hub in the frankincense trade, connecting the Arabian Peninsula to the great empires of Rome, Persia, and India. Frankincense, a fragrant resin extracted from trees, was one of the most valuable commodities in the ancient world. It was used in religious ceremonies, as medicine, and as a luxury item. Ubar's strategic location allowed it to control this lucrative trade, amassing incredible wealth and power. The prosperity of Ubar was legendary. Tales spoke of a city adorned with gold and precious stones, where water flowed freely in a land of endless desert. But as with many stories of lost cities, Ubar's fate took a dark turn. According to Islamic tradition and local legends, the city's inhabitants grew arrogant and hubristic in their wealth. They turned away from righteousness, and their city was punished by divine intervention, buried beneath the sands of the desert. For centuries, Ubar remained a tantalizing mystery, its existence debated by scholars and adventurers alike. But in the late 20th century, modern technology began to shed light on this ancient enigma. Satellite imaging revealed traces of ancient caravan routes converging on a site in Oman. This discovery led to archaeological excavations at a place called Shizr, where researchers uncovered the remnants of an ancient settlement. The site at Shizr revealed a fortified structure built around a large water resource, crucial for survival in the harsh desert environment. This oasis would have been a natural stopping point for caravans traversing the vast Arabian desert. The discovery of pottery shards and other artifacts at the site suggested a thriving community that had existed for centuries. But what caused the downfall of this once great city? Unlike the dramatic divine punishment described in legends, the reality may have been more mundane, but no less catastrophic. Some theories suggest that the exhaustion of water supplies led to the city's abandonment. Others propose that the collapse of a limestone cavern beneath the city, possibly due to overuse of the water table, caused its destruction. Another possibility is that shifts in trade routes made Ubar less economically viable, leading to its gradual decline. The story of Ubar serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of human settlements, especially in harsh environments. It also highlights the importance of natural resources, particularly water, in sustaining civilizations. The city's rise and fall mirror the boom and bust cycles that have affected many societies throughout history, from the ancient world to the modern day. Monte Albán, the Zapotec mountain city. From the highlands of Mexico emerges a tale of ancient ingenuity and urban magnificence. Perched atop a flattened mountain peak, Monte Albán stands as a testament to the archaeological prowess and cultural sophistication of the Zapotec civilization. This remarkable city, one of the earliest major urban centers in Mesoamerica, flourished for over 1,000 years, leaving an indelible mark on the history of the Americas. Monte Albán's story begins around 500 BCE in the Oaxaca Valley of what is now southern Mexico. The Zapotec people, demonstrating remarkable engineering skills, chose to build their capital on a mountain ridge. They leveled the mountaintop, creating a vast artificial plateau that would serve as the foundation for their grand city. This ambitious undertaking required immense labor and planning, showcasing the organizational capabilities of the early Zapotec society. The city's layout reveals a sophisticated understanding of urban design. The large central plaza forms the heart of Monte Albán, surrounded by impressive structures that served various functions. Temples dedicated to the Zapotec deities towered over the cityscape, while palaces housed the ruling elite. One of the most intriguing structures is an ancient observatory, indicating the Zapotec's keen interest in celestial phenomena and their efforts to track the movements of heavenly bodies. Monte Albán's stone carvings offer a window into the rich cultural tapestry of the Zapotec civilization. The famous danzantes, or dancers, are a series of relief carvings that have puzzled archaeologists for generations. These figures, contorted in various poses, were once thought to depict dancers. However, modern interpretations suggest they might represent war captives, ritualistic figures, or even depictions of medical conditions. The true meaning of these enigmatic carvings remains a subject of debate, adding to the mystique of Monte Albán. The intellectual achievements of the Zapotecs at Monte Albán were equally impressive. They developed one of the earliest writing systems in the Americas, leaving behind inscriptions that continue to intrigue scholars. Their calendar system, likely influenced by other Mesoamerican cultures, demonstrates their advanced understanding of time and celestial cycles. These developments paint a picture of a society deeply invested in recording their history, religious beliefs, and astronomical observations. Monte Albán's strategic location atop the mountain provided the Zapotecs with a commanding view of the surrounding valleys. This vantage point not only offered defensive advantages, but also allowed them to control important trade routes. The city became a hub of commerce, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas with other Mesoamerican cultures. Evidence of interactions with the Olmec civilization and the great city of Teotihuacan has been found at Monte Albán, indicating its importance in the wider Mesoamerican world. For over a millennium, Monte Albán thrived as the beating heart of Zapotec civilization. However, around 850 CE, the once great city began to decline. The reasons for its downfall remain somewhat mysterious, but archaeologists have proposed several theories. Political fragmentation within the Zapotec realm may have weakened the city's power. The depletion of natural resources in the surrounding area could have made it increasingly difficult to support the large urban population. Additionally, the rise of competing regional powers likely contributed to Monte Albán's waning influence. Tiwanaku, the Andes' forgotten power. High in the Andes, near the shores of Lake Titicaca, lies a testament to human ingenuity and adaptation. Tiwanaku, a city that flourished between 400 CE and 1000 CE, stands as a remarkable example of ancient engineering and urban planning. Situated at an altitude where even breathing can be challenging, this pre-Columbian metropolis defied the harsh environment to become a powerhouse of culture, religion, and trade. The city's monumental architecture is a marvel that continues to astound visitors and archaeologists alike. The Gateway to the Sun, an enormous stone arch adorned with intricate carvings, serves as a focal point of the site. Nearby, the Kalasasaya Temple and Akapana Pyramid showcase the advanced stone-cutting techniques employed by Tiwanaku's builders. These massive structures, constructed without mortar, fit together with such precision that even today, it's difficult to slip a knife blade between the stones. But Tiwanaku was more than just impressive buildings. The city's urban layout reveals a sophisticated understanding of space and social organization. Wide streets and expansive plazas suggest a bustling metropolis teeming with activity. The raised field farming system, a network of elevated planting platforms separated by canals, allowed the Tiwanaku people to cultivate crops in the harsh altiplano environment. This agricultural innovation, combined with extensive irrigation systems, supported a large population and generated surpluses for trade. Speaking of trade, Tiwanaku's influence extended far beyond its immediate surroundings. The city served as a hub for cultural and economic exchange, with its reach stretching from northern Chile to southern Peru. Artifacts found at distant sites bear the unmistakable hallmarks of Tiwanaku craftsmanship, hinting at a vast network of connections that spanned the Andes. Religion played a central role in Tiwanaku society, intertwining with every aspect of daily life. The city's layout and architecture reflect a deep connection to astronomical observations and cosmological beliefs. Viracocha, the creator deity, was a key figure in their pantheon, often depicted in intricate stone carvings and ceramic artwork. Ritual practices, likely involving human sacrifice, were conducted to maintain cosmic order and ensure agricultural fertility. Despite its power and influence, Tiwanaku's reign was not destined to last forever. Around 1000 CE, the city began a rapid decline. Prolonged droughts, possibly exacerbated by climate change, strained the agricultural systems that had sustained the population for centuries. Environmental degradation, caused by overexploitation of resources, further weakened the city's resilience. Political fragmentation, perhaps triggered by these environmental pressures, led to the gradual abandonment of Tiwanaku. Yet the legacy of Tiwanaku lived on long after its fall. The Inca, who rose to power centuries later, regarded the ancient city with reverence. They incorporated elements of Tiwanaku culture and architecture into their own civilization, viewing the ruins as the work of gods or legendary ancestors. This cultural continuity demonstrates the enduring impact of Tiwanaku on Andean societies. The Maya of Copán, collapse in the jungle. From the lush jungles of Honduras emerges a tale of grandeur and mystery. Copán, one of the most impressive Maya city-states, flourished between 400 CE and 900 CE. This ancient metropolis, nestled in the verdant landscape, stood as a testament to the ingenuity and artistic prowess of its creators. Copán's skyline was dominated by majestic temples and palaces, their stepped pyramids reaching towards the heavens. But what truly set this city apart were its intricately carved stelae and hieroglyphic stairways. These stone monuments weren't mere decorations. They were living records of the city's history, its rulers, and the cosmic beliefs that shaped Maya society. The city was governed by a powerful dynasty of kings, each contributing to Copán's growth and splendor. These rulers weren't just political figures. They were seen as divine intermediaries between the mortal world and the realm of the gods. Their reigns were marked by ambitious building projects, expanding the city's ceremonial center and reinforcing its status as a cultural powerhouse. But Copán was more than just a pretty face. Its inhabitants were intellectual giants of their time. The Maya of Copán developed sophisticated systems of mathematics and astronomy that rivaled, and in some cases surpassed, those of their contemporaries around the world. They tracked the movements of celestial bodies with remarkable accuracy, creating calendars that could predict eclipses and planetary alignments far into the future. Their mastery of writing was equally impressive. The Maya script, with its intricate glyphs, allowed them to record not just historical events, but also complex mythological narratives and astronomical calculations. This writing system, one of the most advanced in pre-Columbian America, has provided modern scholars with invaluable insights into Maya culture and history. Life in Copán wasn't all about lofty pursuits, though. The city was a bustling center of trade and craftsmanship. Artisans produced exquisite pottery, jewelry, and textiles, while merchants traded these goods along with valuable commodities like cacao, jade, and exotic feathers. The prosperity of Copán attracted people from far and wide, swelling its population and expanding its influence throughout the region. But then, something changed. Around the 9th century CE, Copán began to show signs of strain. The once thriving city started to decline, its population dwindling, its grand buildings falling into disrepair. What could cause such a dramatic reversal of fortune? Archaeologists and historians have pieced together a complex picture of Copán's downfall. It seems that a perfect storm of factors conspired against the city. Overpopulation had stretched local resources to their limits. The surrounding forests were cleared for agriculture and fuel, leading to erosion and soil depletion. Climate change may have played a role too, with prolonged droughts making it harder to feed the burgeoning population. Internal conflicts likely added to the turmoil. As resources became scarce, competition between elites intensified. The strain on the social fabric of Copán may have led to political instability, weakening the authority of the ruling dynasty. Eventually, the city was abandoned, its once proud temples and palaces left to be reclaimed by the jungle. The Moche of Peru, art and ritual in the desert. The Moche civilization flourished between 100 CE and 800 CE, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate archaeologists and historians alike. This sophisticated society transformed the harsh landscape into a thriving cultural center, pushing the boundaries of art, technology, and religious expression. The Moche were masters of ceramics, their pottery serving as a window into their world. These weren't just simple vessels, but intricate works of art that depicted everything from everyday life to complex mythological scenes. Imagine holding a pot that tells a story, each brushstroke revealing the beliefs and practices of a civilization long gone. The level of detail in these ceramics is astounding, with realistic portraits and vivid scenes that bring the past to life. But the Moche didn't stop at pottery. They were skilled metalworkers too, crafting ornate gold and silver objects that showcased their technological prowess. These weren't just decorative pieces, but symbols of power and religious significance. The precision and artistry in their metalwork rivaled that of any contemporary civilization around the world. The landscape of Moche territory was dominated by massive adobe pyramids, known as huacas. The Huaca del Sol and Huaca de la Luna stand as testaments to their architectural ambition. These weren't just impressive structures. They were the beating heart of Moche society, serving as centers for religious ceremonies and administrative functions. The sheer scale of these buildings is mind-boggling, especially considering the limitations of ancient construction techniques. Religion played a central role in Moche life, influencing every aspect of their society. Their rituals were complex and often involved human sacrifice, a practice that might seem shocking to modern sensibilities, but was deeply rooted in their belief system. These ceremonies weren't acts of cruelty, but desperate attempts to appease the gods and maintain cosmic balance. The Moche believed that through sacrifice, they could ensure the continuation of their way of life in a challenging environment. Speaking of challenges, the Moche faced plenty in their desert home. But they weren't content to simply survive. They thrived. They developed ingenious agricultural techniques, including extensive canal systems and terracing, that allowed them to cultivate crops in an otherwise inhospitable landscape. This mastery over their environment was a key factor in the rise and longevity of their civilization. Despite their achievements, the Moche civilization eventually declined. The exact reasons are still debated, but evidence points to a perfect storm of environmental and social factors. Severe El Niño events caused devastating floods and prolonged droughts, putting immense strain on their agricultural systems. These climatic shifts likely led to food shortages and social unrest, weakening the foundations of Moche society. Internal conflicts may have further destabilized the civilization, ultimately leading to its downfall. The Mohenjo-Daro culture of the Amazon, hidden cities in the rainforest. The Mohenjo-Daro culture flourished on the Mohenjo Island in the Amazon River Delta between 400 CE and 1400 CE. This advanced pre-Columbian society challenged our understanding of ancient Amazonian civilizations. Unlike the stereotypical image of simple jungle dwellers, the Mohenjo-Daro people created a complex society that adapted brilliantly to their challenging environment. One of the most impressive features of the Mohenjo-Daro culture was their ingenious solution to seasonal flooding. They constructed large earthen mounds called Tartessos to elevate their settlements above the floodwaters. These mounds weren't just practical, they were engineering marvels that demonstrated the Mohenjo-Daro's advanced understanding of their environment. Some of these Tartessos were so massive that they could support entire communities, complete with residential areas, ceremonial spaces, and burial grounds. The Mohenjo-Daro were also skilled artisans, particularly when it came to pottery. Their ceramics were far more than just functional items. They were works of art that provide us with valuable insights into their culture and beliefs. The pottery was decorated with intricate geometric patterns, as well as anthropomorphic and zoomorphic designs. These designs weren't just decorative, they likely held deep symbolic meaning, possibly related to their religious beliefs or social structure. Speaking of social structure, evidence suggests that Mohenjo-Daro society was hierarchical. Archaeologists have found clues in burial practices and ceremonial artifacts that point to a stratified society. Some individuals were buried with elaborate grave goods, including finely crafted pottery and jewelry, while others had simpler burials. This suggests a society with distinct social classes, possibly including a ruling elite, skilled artisans, and common laborers. The Mohenjo-Daro weren't just talented artists and engineers, they were also skilled agriculturalists. They practiced intensive agriculture, with manioc being a particularly important crop. But they didn't stop at simple farming. The Mohenjo-Daro developed sophisticated techniques to manage their environment, including fish farming and water control systems. These methods allowed them to sustain a large population in an environment that many would consider challenging for agriculture. Despite their achievements, the Mohenjo-Daro civilization eventually declined. The reasons for this decline remain a mystery, with several theories proposed by researchers. Some suggest that environmental changes may have played a role, possibly altering the delicate balance that the Mohenjo-Daro had achieved with their surroundings. Others propose that resource depletion could have been a factor, as the intensive agriculture and large population may have eventually strained the environment beyond its capacity to recover. There's also the possibility that conflicts with neighboring groups contributed to their downfall. The discovery and study of the Mohenjo-Daro culture have had a profound impact on our understanding of pre-Columbian Amazonia. For many years, it was believed that the Amazon was sparsely populated before European contact, with only small, scattered groups of people living simple lives in the rainforest. The Mohenjo-Daro challenged this notion, revealing that complex societies were indeed possible in the Amazon. The Cahokia Mounds, America's forgotten metropolis. Picture a city as large as London in 1250 CE, but instead of being across the Atlantic, it was flourishing along the Mississippi River. This was Cahokia, the largest pre-Columbian city north of Mexico, located near present-day St. Louis, Missouri. At its peak between 1050 and 1200 CE, Cahokia was home to an estimated 20,000 people, making it one of the most populous urban centers in North America before European contact. The heart of Cahokia was dominated by massive earthen mounds, with Monk's Mound standing as the crown jewel. This colossal structure, rising to a height of 100 feet, covered an area larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza at its base. Monk's Mound served as the city's ceremonial and political center, where the paramount chief likely resided and conducted important rituals. The construction of such monumental architecture required an immense amount of labor and organization, showcasing the advanced social structure of Mississippian culture. Cahokia's urban planning was remarkably sophisticated. The city was laid out in a grid-like pattern with large open plazas and neighborhoods arranged around central mounds. A wooden palisade, stretching for nearly 2 miles, encircled the central precinct of the city. providing both defense and a symbolic boundary between the sacred and secular spaces. This level of urban design rivaled that of many contemporary European cities of the time. Agriculture was the backbone of Cahokian society, with maize cultivation playing a central role. The fertile floodplains of the Mississippi River Valley provided ideal conditions for intensive farming, allowing the Cahokians to support their large population and generate surpluses for trade. They also engaged in hunting and fishing, taking advantage of the rich local ecosystems. The Cahokians were part of an extensive trade network that stretched across much of North America. Exotic goods like marine shells from the Gulf Coast, copper from the Great Lakes region, and mica from the Appalachian Mountains have been found at Cahokia, indicating far-reaching connections and economic influence. This trade not only brought material wealth, but also facilitated the exchange of ideas and cultural practices across vast distances. Religion and astronomy played significant roles in Cahokian society. One of the most intriguing discoveries at the site is the presence of circular arrangements of red cedar posts, dubbed wood henges by archaeologists. These structures, similar in concept to the famous Stonehenge in England, were likely used for astronomical observations and to mark important ceremonial dates. The alignment of these posts with solar events demonstrates the Cahokians' sophisticated understanding of celestial movements and their integration into religious and political life. Despite its grandeur, Cahokia experienced a rapid decline beginning around 1300 CE, and by 1400 CE, the city was largely abandoned. The reasons for this collapse remain a subject of debate among archaeologists and historians. Environmental factors likely played a role, including deforestation, erosion, and climate change that may have affected agricultural productivity. Social and political instability, possibly exacerbated by resource depletion and population pressures, could have contributed to the city's downfall. Some researchers have also suggested that epidemic diseases might have swept through the densely populated urban center. The ancestral Puebloans of Chaco Canyon. The story of the ancestral Puebloans challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient American cultures. In the heart of the arid American Southwest, between 850 CE and 1250 CE, these remarkable people built a complex society that rivaled any in the Old World. Chaco Canyon, located in what is now New Mexico, stood as the crown jewel of ancestral Puebloan culture. Here, they constructed massive stone buildings known as great houses. Pueblo Bonito, the largest of these structures, was a marvel of engineering. It stood several stories tall and contained hundreds of rooms, a testament to the Puebloans' architectural prowess. But the ancestral Puebloans' achievements went far beyond impressive buildings. They created an extensive network of roads radiating out from Chaco Canyon. These roads, some stretching over 30 feet wide, connected distant communities and facilitated trade across the region. It's mind-boggling to think about the level of organization and cooperation required to build and maintain such a system in this harsh landscape. The Pueblo's understanding of the natural world was equally impressive. They aligned their buildings with celestial events like solstices and equinoxes, showcasing an advanced knowledge of astronomy. This cosmic awareness wasn't just for show. It likely played a crucial role in their agricultural practices and religious beliefs. Speaking of agriculture, the ancestral Puebloans were masters of desert farming. They developed sophisticated irrigation systems to grow crops like maize, beans, and squash in an environment where water was scarce. Their ability to coax food from this unforgiving land allowed their population to grow and their culture to flourish. At the heart of Puebloan spiritual life were the kivas, circular, subterranean rooms used for religious ceremonies and community gatherings. These sacred spaces reflect the deep connection between the Puebloans' daily lives and their spiritual beliefs. The kivas served as a physical link between the earthly realm and the spirit world, embodying the holistic worldview of these ancient people. For centuries, Chaco Canyon thrived as a center of culture, trade, and spirituality. But around 1250 CE, something changed. The great houses were abandoned, and the population dispersed. What caused this dramatic shift? Archaeologists point to a combination of factors. Prolonged droughts strained their agricultural systems, while overuse of resources like timber led to environmental degradation. These challenges, coupled with potential social upheavals, likely forced the Puebloans to seek new homes. Nan Madol, the Venice of the Pacific. Picture a city rising from the sea, its foundations not of stone, but of coral and basalt. Welcome to Nan Madol, where Pacific Islanders defied the very ocean to create their own Venice. Around 1200 CE, on the island of Pohnpei, in what is now Micronesia, the Sogdian dynasty began an ambitious project. They started building a city unlike anything seen before in the Pacific. Nan Madol wasn't just built on land, it was built on the water. The ancient engineers created nearly 100 artificial islets using massive basalt columns and coral, connected by a network of canals, formed the base for an entire city. But how did they move these giant stones? Some of the basalt columns weighed up to 50 tons. The closest quarry was miles away, and the Sogdian people didn't have metal tools or wheels. Researchers think they might have used rafts at high tide, floating the stones to their destination. Once there, they somehow lifted and stacked these enormous rocks with incredible precision. The city that emerged from their efforts was a true wonder. Nan Madol became the ceremonial and political center of the Sogdian dynasty. The artificial islands housed everything from royal residencies to tombs, from temples to places for food preparation. One of the most impressive structures was the royal mortuary complex, Nan Dawas. Its walls, built from stacked basalt columns, reached heights of up to 25 feet. Nan Madol wasn't just an architectural marvel. It was the heart of a complex society. The Sogdian rulers used it as a base to unify the island's population. They established a centralized system of governance with strict social and religious hierarchies. The city's layout reflected this order, with different islets serving specific functions in the social and spiritual life of the community. Life in Nan-Madol must have been unique. Imagine traveling between buildings not by road, but by canoe. The canals that crisscrossed the city weren't just for show, they were the main thoroughfares. Fish swam beneath houses, and the sound of water lapping at stone walls was a constant backdrop to daily life. But maintaining such a city came at a cost. The population of Nan-Madol and the surrounding areas put immense pressure on local resources. Feeding everyone required intensive agriculture and fishing. Over time, this likely led to environmental degradation. By 1500 CE, Nan-Madol's glory days were coming to an end. The exact reasons for its decline are still debated. Some researchers point to internal strife, possibly related to the strain of maintaining such a complex society. Others suggest that environmental factors made it increasingly difficult to sustain the population. Whatever the cause, the city was gradually abandoned, its remarkable structures left to the encroaching jungle and sea. Today, Nan-Madol stands as a testament to the ingenuity of Pacific Island cultures. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for its unique architecture and cultural significance. But it's more than just a relic of the past. Nan-Madol challenges our assumptions about what ancient societies could achieve. It shows how people adapted to and transformed their environment in extraordinary ways. The Kingdom of Aksum, Ethiopia's vanished empire. Imagine an empire so powerful it rivaled Rome, yet so forgotten it slipped from the pages of history. Welcome to the Kingdom of Aksum, a civilization that once dominated the Horn of Africa and beyond. Around 100 CE, as Rome was reaching its zenith, Aksum was rising as a formidable power in its own right. Aksum wasn't just any kingdom. It was a busy hub of trade and culture, connecting Africa with Arabia and the Mediterranean. Ships laden with gold, ivory, and the prized frankincense set sail from Aksumite ports, bringing wealth and ideas from distant lands. This wasn't just a local power. Aksum was playing on a global stage. But what really sets Aksum apart are its monuments. Picture massive stone obelisks piercing the sky, some standing over 100 feet tall. These weren't just big rocks, they were masterpieces of engineering and artistry. The obelisk of Aksum, the grandest of them all, wasn't just a tombstone. It was a statement of power, a way for Aksumite kings to say, "Look at what we can do." Now, let's fast forward to the 4th century CE. Something big happened in Aksum. King Ezana decided to embrace Christianity, making Aksum one of the first states in the world to officially adopt the religion. This wasn't just a personal choice, it changed the course of Ethiopian history. The Aksumite script, Ge'ez, became the language of the church, and it's still used in Ethiopian Orthodox services today. But Aksum wasn't just about religion and big stones. These guys were economic innovators too. They started minting their own coins, something almost unheard of in sub-Saharan Africa at the time. This wasn't just about having pretty metal discs. It was a sign of a sophisticated economy and a well-organized state. For centuries, Aksum thrived, but like all empires, it faced challenges. Climate change started making agriculture harder. Trade routes shifted, bypassing Aksum's ports. Conflicts with neighboring powers chipped away at its influence. Slowly but surely, Aksum began to decline. By 940 CE, the once mighty empire had faded into obscurity. But here's the thing, Aksum's story didn't end there. Its legacy lived on. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church, born in Aksumite times, remained a cornerstone of Ethiopian culture. The Ge'ez script continued to be used, preserving ancient knowledge. And those massive obelisks, they still stand, silent witnesses to Aksum's former glory. The Sogdians, Silk Road cosmopolitans. From the busy cities of ancient China to the sun-baked markets of Persia, a group of savvy merchants wove a tapestry of trade that spanned continents. These were the Sogdians, masters of the Silk Road and true cosmopolitans of their time. For nearly 1,500 years, from around 500 BCE to 1000 CE, the Sogdians played a pivotal role in connecting East and West, becoming the invisible thread that stitched together the ancient world's first truly global network. Picture a caravan laden with precious silks, exotic spices, and glittering gold, slowly making its way across the harsh terrain of Central Asia. At the heart of this operation, you'd likely find a Sogdian merchant, fluent in multiple languages and adept at navigating the complex web of cultures along the Silk Road. These Iranian people weren't just middlemen, they were cultural chameleons, adapting and thriving in diverse environments from China to the Mediterranean. The Sogdian homeland was centered in what's now Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, with cities like Samarkand and Panjakent serving as vibrant hubs of commerce and culture. But the true genius of the Sogdians lay in their ability to establish communities far beyond their borders. They set up trading colonies in China, acted as diplomatic interpreters, and even served as mercenaries in various armies. This widespread presence allowed them to facilitate the exchange of not just goods, but ideas, technologies, and beliefs across vast distances. One of the most fascinating aspects of Sogdian culture was their religious flexibility. In an era when faith often defined identity, the Sogdians were remarkably open-minded. They practiced Zoroastrianism, an ancient Iranian religion, but also embraced Buddhism, Manichaeism, and later, Islam. This religious adaptability mirrored their commercial acumen. The Sogdians understood that in the world of international trade, rigid beliefs could be bad for business. The Sogdian language became a lingua franca of the Silk Road, with their unique script derived from Aramaic spreading far and wide. Merchants used it to keep records, diplomats to write treaties, and rulers to issue decrees. The reach of the Sogdian language is a testament to their influence. Fragments of Sogdian texts have been found from the shores of the Black Sea to the heart of China. In their art and architecture, we see a beautiful fusion of styles that reflects their cosmopolitan nature. Sogdian murals blend Persian, Indian, and Chinese influences, creating a visual language that speaks to their role as cultural intermediaries. Their ability to synthesize diverse elements wasn't just aesthetic, it was a key to their success in bridging different civilizations. But, like all great empires and networks, the Sogdian trading system eventually faced its twilight. The rise of the Islamic Caliphate in the 7th century CE began to alter the political and economic landscape of Central Asia. Then came the Mongol invasions of the 13th century, which devastated many Sogdian cities and disrupted the trade routes they had long dominated. The once mighty network of Sogdian merchants began to fade, their role as key players on the world stage diminishing. If you enjoyed this journey through time, subscribe for more documentaries like this one. Which lost civilization fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring the stories that shaped our world.